everybody, and welcome to Parks Bros. It's Drew here, and we're back at Knott's Berry Farm, checking out all of the new updates with a little bit of a breeze. It's going to be a great day all around, so let's go ahead and head in. In Camp Snoopy for our first of the spooky updates of today, because it is time for Spooky Farm, of course. You have this new main stage in the picnic area, completely dressed up for the spookiest time of the year. I think it looks really, really great. Super photo op as well. I wonder if they're doing meet and greets or maybe like small, tiny performances here. I don't think so, but I do think it's a great place to get some photos. So while we're making our way through the rest of Camp Snoopy, not too many changes outside of just the pumpkins everywhere and whatnot. But MonteZOOma's Revenge, soon to be MonteZOOma the Forbidden Fortress. We're looking at it just because we have this angle of it. Not too much at all has changed from our point of view. Again, that's a great plus to these giant tarps that are all around the ride. You can't really see much. However, we will round in just a moment, and you'll see something brand new at the ride, which is super exciting. There's officially updates on construction. It only took how long? Speaking of those tarps, though, in the station, everything has been covered by tarps, at least track-wise. It seems like they're going through with the sandblasting on every single piece, which is a good sign. It means we're really progressing through this construction process, and I'm excited to see these tarps down eventually. Now, before we head to the rest of MonteZOOma, the Forbidden Fortress, and its construction, I wanted to talk about the kind of clash of theming we're seeing in Camp Snoopy this year with the abundance of pumpkins, and real pumpkins at that. Unfortunately, some of them seem to be rotting away at this time of the season, but they all look incredible around this very autumnal theming. I think I said that wrong, but it's fine. It's fall. We're Americans. We say that. But I think this clash is a little odd. There's even like a bloody throne over there in the middle of Camp Snoopy, which is kind of fun. But we were talking, Dylan and I, my buddy from Theme Park Obsession, and we were thinking, why not stop that clash?
Yeah.
Bring back an old classic maze that used to be in this area.
Pumpkin Eater.
Pumpkin Eater. Imagine Pumpkin Eater as the scare zone with all the pumpkins here. There's no clash there. It would look incredible, and you wouldn't have to worry again about dragons in Camp Snoopy or
Yeah.
Or the king being beheaded and things like that.
They could do like big pumpkin props with like pumpkin seeds spilling out and all that kind of stuff. And then you don't have to make it gory. You could just make it thematically all make sense. And then your characters in the scare zone can obviously be a little bit more gory because all that stuff is seen at night. But then, yeah, you wouldn't have this like night and day difference, no pun intended, with the decorations, because yeah, the medieval theme is a little weird up against all the pumpkins in Camp Snoopy during the day.
Yeah. I will say at night the scare zone is really, really cool, but it is just a little bit odd when you're looking around in the fog and seeing these giant pumpkin related props. I mean, just think about it, right? You don't need to change the theming. The fake pumpkins having the gnarly gourds coming out of their mouths, that literally is already Pumpkin Eater. Just saying. As promised, here's the other end of MonteZOOma, the Forbidden Fortress, officially ready for sandblasting. Amazing to see this. So they're sandblasting everywhere all over the ride. And again, the fact that they are able to still be running this smaller family ride underneath is kind of a modern marvel. Here's another angle on what I'm talking about when it's kind of crazy that they were able to fit this scaffolding and tarp all the way around this piece of track here. But as we turn our heads toward the station, actually, you can see more track is currently missing. It's really incredible, the fact that track was there for so long and now it's not. Yeah, it seems like they took out some extra pieces of track that kind of bridge the gap between this giant back spike and of course that final brake run. So kind of nuts to see more progression there. And of course, I mean, obviously the biggest craziest thing is the fact that this is all completely covered now. I know there have been some people commenting, like, what is that thing on Knott's social media? But just know it is going to be MonteZOOMa, the Forbidden Fortress. And they're just getting the thing prepped for its opening next year. You could actually see a little bit of that track. And actually, it seems like some of it has been kind of sandblasted. Some of that original color scheme coming through. It's kind of nuts to see that. And of course, over by the entryway, pretty much the same as it's been the past, I want to say 3, 4, maybe even 5 months at this point. It's probably progressing like crazy underneath, but we'll never know, at least until they take off those tarps and it's a brand new paint scheme, which hopefully that's the case not too long from now. I may have just made a joke about how there might not be a loop returning. Oh my gosh, no, I'm kidding. It's a joke, of course. Then again, technically we do not know the official layout. I would assume it's exactly the same, but it is kind of wild to not see any of that new track here yet, as Jaguar is about to be screaming right next to my ear. But yeah, I am curious to see when this new track may be coming in soon. Actually, it seems like there's been some active work in the station. Can you see that? Seems like somebody was having a drink up in the station, so that's actually a great sign that they're physically and actively doing work up there. And hopefully Jaguar and this little tunnel that it has will no longer be lonely in the near future. So if you haven't yet and want to see more updates on this project and more at Knott's Berry Farm, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And you get to see more of these updates all over your feed. Now, while I said as a joke earlier, what if they don't bring back the loop? I mean, they obviously should be, right? Dylan actually had an interesting idea. We just saw the flash testing over in New Jersey. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm so happy that America is finally getting some new age Vekoma.
Seriously.
Like, finally we're getting some new age Vekoma. And if you haven't seen any of the new age Vekoma stuff, which I'm sure a lot of you watching have, I mean, they're beautiful products. But how cool would it be to like go up that spike and then do an inversion and then make your way back this way over the station, do a couple more versions, very similar to a Vekoma super boomerang, and then end up on this end? Like, that would be amazing.
It would be insane.
Why didn't they do that?
Well, we haven't seen them complete construction yet, and we haven't
true.
seen anything outside of hopefully a really themed station.
And we also don't know who the manufacturer of this is.
That is so true, yeah. We have no idea.
There's been so many rumors. Like, at first we thought it was Premier, and then now we're thinking it's Zamperla, and then who knows? It could be that defunct, bankrupt company that built Goliath. You never know. You just never know.
Oh my gosh, Giovanola comeback in 2025?
Can you imagine that's their comeback? Is the new MonteZOOMa's Revenge at Knott's Berry Farm?
I would love to see that,
actually. They
actually.
built like, what, 3 or 4 rides?
Yeah, it was like 3, I think. But yeah, that would be amazing.
So yeah, you never know. But that would be a cool design for this, like, straight up.
Brings it to the new age.
Yeah, that would be really cool. And honestly, probably really good on efficiency, because the one problem with MonteZOOMa's Revenge is it's just got one train ops.
Yeah.
It's got the electric eel, treatment where you just got to wait for that thing to come back. Versus if you did a super boomerang thing, you can at least do 2 train offs. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still hoping, obviously this is probably not going to happen.
This
but
is just a pipe dream at this point.
Yeah, but for a turntable station, I would love to see that.
Dude.
Yeah.
I think if that was going to happen, though, we would already be seeing...
Oh, easily, yeah. Half of this would already be demoed, absolutely. So,
yeah. That would have been a good addition to this as well, honestly.
Would have been cool.
Wow. They could have done it out here. They really wanted
I mean,
to.
Yeah, possibly. Even just a switch track back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Mr. Freeze.
Dang, why didn't they do that?
I don't know. Maybe space-wise.
That's probably. Yeah. And then
it's pretty expensive, yeah. From one coaster to the next, you can see MonteZOOMa, the Forbidden Fortress in the background there. And of course, the ever-present Silver Bullet right here. This is actually where we're going to be stopping next. Last we saw it, there was literally 2 people on a train, so we're going to hope for the same. I think there are more people in the park currently, just because school, I think, has just gotten out. So some families are stopping in afterwards. So do be prepared for that, actually, on weekdays now. It used to not be like that, but now there's so many people coming here instead of like Disney after school or work, and it's really, really cool to see. So yeah, do expect actually a little bit heavier crowds on weekdays now. Well, I don't think we'll be the only people on the train, but we won't be waiting long. Let's go ahead and hop right on. Silver Bullet, as usual, unbelievably forceful. Actually, more so today than usual. I think it was running a little quicker. Maybe it's because it's a little bit warmer. I think it peaked at about 87 degrees today in Buena Park. But I will mention one thing. If you're riding this in the near future, do be prepared. B-Train seems to be just a tad bit shakier than C-Train. C-Train seem to be glass smooth. B-Train, on the other hand, though, at least in my experience, just a little bit of bumps, a little bit of shakes here and there. Nothing bad or anything like that, but just, you know, minute differences between the two trains currently. Walking through Ghost Town, we have yet another clash. These amazing pumpkins for right now, but also some Christmas lights lining the rooftops. It's almost that time of year. It's kind of wild to see. And actually on the same rooftop, you see that? You see that up top? That's not a fog machine. That's a Snope machine. That's right. The fake snow made of soap. They're already getting those ready all over Ghost Town. Even above Old Betsy, you can see those same machines. We're just about 3 weeks out from Mary Farm. It's wild to think. Just about the perfect temperature for a light misting on Calico River Rapids. Unfortunately, the line is a little bit too long for Dylan and I today. And also it's just about to get chilly because, as you can see, that sun is getting lower in the sky. But yeah, always a great option. One of the best raft rides, I would say, on the West Coast. Right here at Knott. I was going to say something silly about trains being safer as a transportation option than cars, but that's a car on a train track, so I don't know how that even works. On the real, though, always amazing to see the Galloping Goose going around. It means it's a very empty day at the park, which is a positive for you. And you get to ride one of, I believe, 8 diesel train conversions of an old truck in the world. That one specifically actually running in Colorado, shipping coal and silver back and forth back in the day. And funnily enough, it's actually an inspiration for my Planet Coaster Park, and if you haven't checked that out, go check it out there. While in the Roaring 20 section, taking a quick stop at the restrooms, just know if you do have a service animal, this is also where you can stop for your dogs. But we've been sitting here in, of course, Knott's Berry Farm in Buena Park, and we get these amazing views of these giant airplanes, 747s. This one just took off from LAX, heading to Frankfurt. That is almost 20,000 feet in the air, and we can still see it. Like this is the difference almost from sea level to Everest, and we can still see these massive planes here. So if you're a plane fan, plane spotter, it's a great place to be. As we've made our way from the 1880s to the 1850s to the 1920s, we're now back into the 1950s. You can see hang time currently actually down, which is wild to say. This is not a ride that goes down very often at all. I mean, it's only 6 years old now. But yeah, you've got one train in the station, one train on the final brake run. Looks like some sort of machine of some sort in the station. Couple signs, certain outlets are covered. Really, really interesting to see what's going on here. I know there was supposedly a rollback a couple days ago. I don't know if it's related or not to that. But yeah, hopefully hang time's up and running very, very soon here. Just wild to see it. Taking a nap for the day. And a quick reminder, you can purchase fast lanes for individual rides and attractions out front of Hang Time, Ghost Rider, and other major attractions across the park. Yeah, even on the slower days, you can actually purchase some of the options, which I think the only viable one right now would be Ghost Rider. But even then, you'd only be saving about 15 minutes for like a $20 price, which if that seems valuable to you, go for it, I guess. But I would just say wait a couple minutes. All around the boardwalk, these cool decorations that they had at the beginning of the season have actually gotten added onto a lot. There's a bunch of these corn stalks all over the park, as well as, of course, these pumpkins we've been talking about a lot. But yeah, it's nice to see the additions on top of the old ride vehicles or drums at every single one of these planters. Maybe this is just because I'm a Ducks fan, but is that four-winged duck a reference to Wild Wing? Just saying. I'm excited for the season. Just started. Hopefully it's not as painful on the shins as Coast Rider this year. Always amazing to see the Halloween hootenanny in action. Absolutely adore this overlay on this ride, this classic attraction. Inspired so many classics afterward. Really was a revolution. Just like, of course, the coaster of the same name up at Magic Mountain. The first coaster to open with a modern vertical loop. Southern California's just got tons and tons of first-time attractions that ended up inspiring generations and generations. This is exactly how I'm feeling right now, leaving Knott. So disappointed and sad, but I'll be back pretty dang soon. So if you haven't, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more updates. So yeah, I gotta say, really fun day overall here at Knott's Berry Farm, chilling out with the crew, of course. But yeah, super fun getting to see those updates on MonteZOOMa, the Forbidden Fortress, new merch, and so much more, which Berry Farm is right around the corner already, which is just insane to me as, I mean, they're screaming not about Silver Bullet and that Cobra roll, but the fact that Scary Farm's almost over. It's just wild to think that already. But if you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe. And thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, we'll see you on the next ride.